BMAX audio adventure. It's BJJ365. Once again today, I'm going to be doing questions from listeners. Taking more questions off of the Instagram. I got a big old stack of questions. I'll try to do about 10 minutes worth here. Before we do that, though, don't forget that we're sponsored by Toehold. On Instagram, it's TOE_HOLD. If you'll screenshot this podcast and share it on your Instagram, you'll be entered to win a free pair of flip-flops from Toehold. And he does awesome work. I got several pairs myself, and I highly recommend that you get involved. If you don't win, if you'll shoot him a DM on Instagram, then he's going to, and make sure you mention the podcast, of course, then he's going to hook you up with kind of like the Brandon McCatherine special discount. So please do that. Also remember to go by and check out my website. It's www.brandonmc.ninja. And then I got the t-shirt hustle going, www.10p4l.com. I'm going to start working on getting all those put together into the same site. I don't know how to do anything cool or useful, so I'm probably just going to have to find somebody to help me with that. But in the meantime, they're two separate websites. Got a bunch of t-shirt designs on there, so check them out. Let's get into the questions. The first one comes from Andrew_Shaw23 on Instagram. He says, been a blue belt just over 12 months. Feel like I'm not progressing. Best advice. Actually, what he says is blue belt just over 12 months. Feel like I'm not progressing. Best advice. So I don't know if that means that you've been a blue belt for 12 months or that you've been training for 12 months and you're a blue belt. In which case, if you've only been training for 12 months and you're a blue belt, I would say you're progressing very quickly. So your concerns are a bit unfounded. But if you're saying that you've been a blue belt for 12 months, that's not unusual at all. In fact, I would say that most people, depending on how often they train, most people spend at least 2 years between belts. Around here, it's at least 2 years between belts. I mean, some guys spend way longer than that at a belt, you know. But I hear what you're saying. Let's talk about, why do you feel plateaued? Why do you feel stagnant in your growth? Because that's normal. That happens to everybody, dude. And that's going to happen to you at every belt level. I can remember as a purple belt, I was talking to my friend Jeremy Arrell. Jeremy runs an incredible academy up in the Charlotte area called Great Grappling. And he's an awesome teacher. And I can remember talking to him as a purple belt and going, man, I feel like I'm not really growing, like I'm not progressing. And his advice was, keep training. And that kind of felt like throwaway advice to me at the time. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, I can see that that was actually the best advice. But what can you do to like encourage and stimulate growth? For me, I like to start working on something way outside my comfort zone. So like, you know, it can, if like say I'm a no-gi player completely, right? If I start feeling a little, okay, I'm kind of bored a little bit sometimes, dude, I'll throw on a gi and go train a little bit in the gi and just change the training up completely. Or I'll start studying a brand new guy that I haven't really put a lot of study time into. Like right now, I know Keenan Cornelius is not a brand new guy, but it's not somebody that I've spent a ton of time studying. Well, I'm watching Keenan Cornelius videos like they're going to rip them all off the internet tomorrow. So I'm trying to get them all consumed right now. So that's something that's stimulating a lot of interesting new things in my game right now. So those are the couple of things that I would tell you. Number one, just keep training, dude. It's going to happen. You're going to for sure hit plateaus. You're going to for sure feel like you're stagnant. Another thing, work on something brand new. Grab something brand new and start drilling that. So hope that was helpful to you, Andrew. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Really appreciate you. Wouldn't it be cool if I could take calls? instead of just questions off of Instagram. I need to set up like a hotline, the BMAX Audio Adventure Hotline. Okay, onward. Keith Kavanagh from Ireland. This is my friend Keith. I love this dude. Here's what he says. Which makes you happier? Tasting Coke Zero or tasting a toot in the air after taking souls? That's a real easy one, Keith. Definitely tasting the toots. Coke Zero, I really don't care how I consume my caffeine. I need that drug. So I don't really care about Coke Zero. I just like to make a joke about it. But tasting a toot in the air after stealing a soul, nothing could be finer. Definitely the toot. Thanks for listening, Keith. All right, this is Renee Sosa. I hope I said your name right, Renee. I know that I probably didn't. But he's on Instagram, Renee, RENE_SOUSA, if you guys want to follow him. Another great guy that I know a little bit in real life. What's your favorite thing to do before and after teaching and or training jiu-jitsu? My favorite thing to do after training is just to sit around and shoot the bull with the guys. Just spend some time talking about training or talking about Game of Thrones or whatever, just unwinding with the dudes after practice. I also like to just, like yesterday after our noon class, I went hard in the paint. And so I had to just lay there and throw ice packs on my face so I didn't pass out. I enjoyed that. That was a good time. Yeah, I just like to relax after training, man. I don't really have any hobbies outside of jiu-jitsu. So there's not something I like to go do, really. Like, we'll go hit up burritos after practice sometimes. I like to play guitar, but I don't play it that much anymore. Honestly, my only hobby is like working on my business. I enjoy the business side of things. So that probably wasn't very helpful. I don't have like big habits and rituals that I do before training, for sure, or definitely not before training. I have, I guess, routines, but nothing that's set in stone. So that wasn't a great answer, Renee, but it was the honest answer. All right. Creatives in Avon. All right. What's the one piece of life advice you'd like to pass along? Be nice. Just be nice. I think like one of the big keys to my, I don't want to say success, but I do feel successful. I think one of the keys to my happiness level is that I try to treat everybody that I come in contact with. I try. I don't always succeed at this, and I often fail at this, but this is what I try to do. I try to treat you like what you want matters more than what I want. And that's backwards from the advice that you get from a lot of people, where they're like, you got to watch out for yourself and, do what makes you the happiest and, pursue your goals. But I think it's actually backwards from that. So, like, what's the key to a happy marriage for me? I treat my wife like everything that she wants matters more than what I want. And you know what happens in return? Is that she treats me like everything that I want matters more than the things that she wants. And so it becomes this big cycle of giving to each other. And as a result, we have, honestly, man, we have like the happiest marriage, We have an incredibly happy home. And, this doesn't have anything to do with jiu-jitsu, but it kind of has everything to do with jiu-jitsu, because I try to treat my training partners the same way. I try to treat my employees the same way. And again, man, I have made so many, there's like countless occasions where I didn't do it this way and I hurt somebody's feelings or I just wasn't happy with the way the situation went, And so I'm not telling you that I'm perfect in that. I'm just telling you that that's what I'm trying to do. Of course, I have days where I don't even do that one time. But that's what I'm striving for. That's what I want my life to be. And I feel like I'm getting better at that as I get older. And that's the advice I have, man. Treat everybody that you meet like they matter more than you do. And, you know, you're going to get burned on that a lot. That's going to backfire on you a lot. But I think that's the way for you ultimately in the long run to get what you want, is by helping other people get what they want. All right. June Redhead on Instagram. Any other martial arts that you'd like to study? I love martial arts. I am very, very interested in Tai Chi, push hands, Tai Chi, and just even like the old lady under a tree in the park kind of Tai Chi. Not because I feel like it has a tremendous amount of martial value, like our directly applicable martial value, but I feel like just moving and learning to move and stand and posture is crucially important to what I'm trying to do as a martial artist. So I don't really have anything. I'd like to learn how to like use a sword, like to truly use a sword. But honestly, I don't want to devote the time to learning how to do it, so I probably won't. That's just the real talk. I wish I had wrestled growing up. I think it's really hard to learn wrestling as a grown man coming into the game with some pretty substantial injuries when I started. So, yeah, I wish I had wrestled. That's the main thing, I think. I wish I could strike like a boss, but I'm just okay. But I'm pretty good at jiu-jitsu. So, and jiu-jitsu is what I enjoy the most. So I'm just going to keep pursuing jiu-jitsu. I like to look at jiu-jitsu from the perspective of other martial arts, though. I think that's really important. Also, I have a background in Japanese jiu-jitsu and Tung Sudo Mudok Kwan, which is like a Korean art, a lot like Taekwondo. I have a black belt in that. So, you know, I've been lucky enough to be exposed to several different martial arts over the years. Learned a little bit of Aikido, learned a little bit of Judo, learned a little bit of wrestling, learned a little bit of boxing. So, you know, several other things too. I think being able to see what it is that you're passionate about from some other perspective is really important. So I do like to study other martial arts, even if I don't practice them. So great question. All right, that's it for today, guys. I still got plenty more questions to work through. Maybe we'll get to some of these in the next couple of days. I like answering these questions. All right. In the meantime, BMAC out. Is that cool to say? BMAC out. I need like a signature sign. BMAC out.